Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have made it to another episode of Pickup Lines. It is the talk show in a car, and unfortunately, this car is not equipped with a grill or a stove, or else I would put Chef Johnny Hernandez to work. Because this might be the longest you go without cooking something here on camera.
Hey, I got a dashboard. I can get one of those
We'll have to figure it
cool,
out.
like time stoves. And next time.
I'll have to ask Lexus to give me equip the car with a hot plate or something in the back here. It's so great to see you.
Oh man, it's great to see you.
You know, I was saying earlier, I feel like we see each other, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 30 seconds here from a distance over here. You're on TV, you're cooking everything, but I've been wanting to sit down with you for a long time and just kind of pick your brain because you're one of those guys that seemingly just never stops.
Well, life is full of fun, and this is a business that keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
And when you're involved in so many areas of community and education and culinary, hospitality, it does create a busy schedule.
Right.
I love busy, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to not be busy.
Yeah.
So, it's fun.
Keeps you out of trouble.
Keeps me, yeah.
And you eat so good. You grew up in San Antonio, right?
San Antonio, West Side. Yes, sir.
Now, I know your dad was it a restaurant?
Yeah.
When you were a little boy?
Yeah. Cafe. Grew up in a small cafe catering environment on Old Highway 90, Edgewood District, District 6.
West Side?
West Side, yeah. But close there to Kelly, close there to Kelly and Lackland Air Force Base. That was kind of a lot of his customers. But that's what I grew up in the restaurant business. Weekends were catering and, not a whole lot of school activity. It was like work, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean.
But I read somewhere you had the entrepreneurial mind very early where you would grab tacos from your dad's place in the morning and take him to school just try to barter or make a buck or two.
A little extra income on the side never hurts.
Brilliant. Genius.
So we always took a few tacos to sell at school, and it was a growing business, and then we'd do it barter and trade. Because I had some friends who would bring ham sandwiches.
So you would. I was going to ask, what are you trading these for?
Yeah, no, those ham sandwiches were, growing up on tacos, you kind of want to change it up a little bit.
Mix it up a little bit. Oh my gosh! And this is, what are you in grade school when you're doing this?
Well, elementary and through middle school. Yes, because after I obviously get into high school in those older years, I did more work before school and after work, the weekends. Dad would always pay me. He always he would always make sure that when I was working that I earned, a pay. And I don't know, he was very firm about that. He goes,
but your dad had little education.
He went second grade.
That was it?
Yeah, that was it. He didn't speak any English. And he learned English. He learned to read in English, at work but he learned to read. He always told me I learned reading by his catechism and reading the Bible, and through religion. That's where he learned how to read.
Yeah.
His ministers and pastors over the years. So very spiritual man, very family, very community. Always did volunteer work, cooking. He would run the big ferias and festivals for the churches on the west side and cook the chicken that they sold for fundraisers, and always was helping the homeless, and just those that needed. I tell people, I don't think I slept more than 1 or 2 days in my bedroom, because Dad had always somebody at the house that he was sponsoring or supporting. So I lived in the living room or on a couch. And so that was anyway, I would joke about yes.
Well, you didn't know any better back then, though, right?
Yes, I'm the couch.
It was just a way of life.
Yeah,
back then.
it's cool. We got the TV. I'm good.
Oh my gosh. What about your mom?
Mom, when Dad passed away when I was in New York at the CIA, so he didn't see me graduate, but he definitely was the force behind me, telling me to just chase that dream.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to be a chef. He didn't want me to make tacos my whole life, he would
Right.
tell me. I'm still making tacos.
But they're an elevated taco now.
But, you know, Mom, when
You get a lot more for a ham sandwich than a ham sandwich right now for your tacos. But go ahead.
No, when Dad passed away, Mom dedicated her life to missionary work and volunteer work in the church and in the ministry. A lot of connections to Mexico through through family. So she found herself traveling a lot through Mexico, volunteering in Mexico, and that's the journey that I followed her on. And I got introduced to all of Mexico through her ministry.
Right.
Because I went to New York to the CIA, the
Sure.
Culinary Institute of America,
Of
where I'll
course.
be. And tomorrow we leave. But it's I learned European. I was mentored and developed by French chefs, European chefs, and that was what the that was kind of the pinnacle of what it was in our career to be trained in the European old world cuisine. So
Right.
French and and the pastries of France and the specialties of Europe were what we aspired as young chefs back then.
Yeah. And you bounced around, I know, out of college, right? You went to, was it true your first job was in Vegas?
Vegas? Yeah, went to
So
Vegas.
you're in your early 20s.
I turned 21 when I got to Vegas.
How great is that?
I know.
Or how bad was that? I don't know if it was good or bad. Yeah. But you're cooking at one of the casinos, right?
Yes. So the Mirage and Steve Wynn
Sure.
went to the CIA.
Billionaire.
And he recruited about 12 of us from the CIA during these interviews where they would recruit. And so I was part of the opening team that went to the Mirage in the 90s, early 90s.
And now he's got several, with the Wynn, the Bellagio.
Yeah, very eccentric, very visionary.
Palazzo, different.
Yes, yeah. We so I ran the banquet, the catering department at the Mirage, and helped open his country club. Very involved in the special events of the hotel at the time.
Okay.
And he entertained people from all over the world. They would all arrive in their jets, and Michael Jackson and a lot of the wealth of California would come, the wealth of Japan would come. I would work with chefs from all over the world who would fly in with their the president of different countries,
right.
Because the Mirage was like the place to be.
Dignitaries would seek it out.
Yes. No, we did a lot of things at Siegfried and Roy's house.
With the tigers?
With the tigers, yep. They're cruising, walking around. My 20s were a lot of fun. But, I loved what I was doing, in terms of creating events. And so I always was in the events world.
Okay. You didn't take your check and go throw it on the craps table every 2 weeks, did you?
Very seldom did I do that. I had a rule that, I would, so you could go cash your check in any casino. And when you cashed your
Stack
check,
of chips.
they would. It's crazy. They would cash your check in chips, but then they would give you chips to play with.
Like a bonus.
A bonus.
Oh.
So my rule was I would only use the bonus. I never
How
used
smart
my
is that,
I
though?
never used
That's brilliant, but very difficult to do.
Difficult to do. Very difficult to do. I only use the bonus. And some bonuses, I would walk out of there in 5 minutes. And some bonuses, I'd be there 4 hours at the craps. They were
Bring me another drink, cocktail, the waitress. Oh, gosh. Yeah. That's how amazing is that?
Good times.
But I guess at some point you realized you were not going to spend the rest of your life there.
Well, life, all my whole life I wanted my own business.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, as a young kid. But I got to see, enough of what I felt prepared me to open my business and my catering business, which I wanted. Also went to work for the Four Seasons after Vegas. Obviously got a lot of my training in New York and working while I was in New York as a student. And Santa Barbara, did 2 years with the Four Seasons in Santa Barbara, and then I felt I was prepared, and came home. I didn't, necessarily know for sure that I would stay. I wanted to just reconnect with family, with Mom, and Mom was always checking on me. When are you coming home? So I said, I'm coming, Mom. I'm coming. I don't know if I'm going to stay, but I'm going to come home.
Well, you have stayed. Is your mom still around?
Yes. I got to go pick her up in about an hour. We're going to go vote.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's she's a handful. I bought her a house next to mine or behind mine, built a big wall between us because Jessica wouldn't want her to die. I'm just kidding, not Jessica.
Your significant other, yeah, which we'll get to in a little bit. By the way,
so she'll call me. Hey, will you coming home? I said, no, I'm working late, Mom. Well, I want a glass of wine. If you can bring a glass of wine, it'd be nice. So I'll take a glass of wine every once in a while. We'll sit with her, talk to her, and I try to get her out. She gets a little comfortable sitting around the house, but she's a trooper, man. She's done a lot in her life.
I'd be comfortable too if my son was bringing me wine on command and cooking like you do.
Yes.
That's pretty remarkable. So we could spend another hour going into all the properties and everything. I think La Gloria is probably one of the things that you're most associated with, even though there's so many other things.
Right.
I know you cooked for, and not to get into politics, but I think anybody who can cook for a president of the United States, that's significant, right? That was Cinco de Mayo in 2016 for President Obama.
Just
and
really
I know
special.
President or Vice President Biden was there. I mean, I remember when that happened and how unbelievable that was.
Yeah, so many special moments in my career, from even when the King of Spain came, for the Bush family.
Right.
I mean, just over the years, dignitaries, ambassadors, I've gone to cook overseas, for the city, on behalf of the city, as kind of the city's first culinary ambassador. Went to Darmstadt, went to Mexico City several times, I've been to France, and, I missed a few other trips in between, but just, trying to spread the word of San Antonio, our heritage, our food, our community. And it's amazing to look back at the progress of, just the team, the culinary hospitality, community just has really pushed our city forward in a powerful way. And it's due to a lot of the smart, strategic building of our community, our leadership, our mayors, and our city managers, and our UNESCO designations, our council people. And I think that if we don't forget who we are, where we came from as a city, as a community, it's rich. It's a rich, textured culture that if we focus on that and we share that, we're on the right path.
I've loved to see how the food, the culinary scene in San Antonio has evolved in the last decade or two.
Yeah, special. I mean, just like I mentioned to you off air, I'm going to the Culinary Institute of America in a couple of days with the students that won the Paella Challenge, our 15th annual Paella Challenge. 15 students were taken to visit the campus in New York. They arrive in Newark. We put them on a shuttle. I'm going to take them directly to the CIA up in Hyde Park. We're going to have dinner at the Escoffier room there in New York. And really this just explained, it really brings to light, the industry, the potential to young people. And I think I do that. Other chefs in the community do that.
Yeah.
And we're just really planting a lot of important seeds, that will bear fruit. And, investing in our youth is really important. Building our workforce is very important. And assembling the education to support the workforce, teach and develop the workforce. I think that's what we've done as a city in an amazing way. And I think people will come and visit San Antonio from my industry and say, wow, you have this, and you all have this, and y'all are this. And they're like, yes. I mean, there's a lot of people contributing to our success. Food is powerful. Food puts you at the center of many very important conversations, and it's a blessing. And I think we've shown up in a powerful way as a food community. In the last 5, 7, 8 years, we've seen kind of like this kind of the light is upon us.
Oh, I would put San Antonio up there with a lot of major cities around the country for sure. But you're taking kids to New York, you're running these businesses, you're doing other things. We'll talk about your love life here in a minute, because that's going to take some time. Are you spending less time in the kitchen? And if so, are you okay with that?
Well, I do spend less time in the kitchen, but, much of what we're doing today, it was foundational to our growing, right?
Right.
The fundamentals of La Gloria, the fundamentals of the Botanero, the Fruteria, all of those are it's an inspiration platform built on Mexican food.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone off to invent anything new in a sense. I think foundationally, it's our style and our cuisine has maintained. So we have a lot of employees and leadership in our company that understand Mexican food, understand tradition, and understand ingredients at our core. Right. So I think that has allowed me to step away a little bit when I have to do business development, to do community work, because we're still, the essence of our food has not changed.
Yeah.
New Spaces, Casa Hernando, Botanero, Burgerteca, they're all Mexico inspired. And
Yeah.
and I wrote those guiding principles many years ago.
Right.
About where our inspiration comes from, and the discipline that we place on ourselves to stay within those lanes. And I think that's why I'm able to step out left and right or look
Sure.
beyond the restaurant operation to see our growth, where we need to create an impact.
Yeah.
And so we're at the airport, the Frost Center, on campuses, and at SAWS, at UTSA, so these we're doing things that are foundational.
Yeah. I love it. Did I see you're helping with La Villita?
Oh yes.
That's evolving, and you're going to have a big kind of handprint on that.
Look, we've been working on it probably for 10 years with the city.
That's crazy.
Okay, so it's a long
time.
time in the process. COVID slowed us down, but we're still focused on that mission of sharing our food heritage through the work of several chefs, myself and 2 others that I'd have to probably return for another interview to share
that's
that
fine.
story.
We'll do it.
Because they are rock stars. It's going to be amazing what we're assembling for La Villita right now. There's several chefs and others in hospitality, in the baking world, in the winemaking world, that will help us share the story of San Antonio in the village of La Villita. So it's very special.
All right.
Our guiding principles are really UNESCO. Our UNESCO City of Gastronomy.
Right.
That is guiding us on that path to share this food culture that we have that's rich.
When you have the soft opening or whatever, you let me know. Or you need me to do some tastings.
Oh, yes.
All right. And we'll do another episode because I've heard some amazing things, and I can't wait to see that play out here in the next year or so and everything. So, all right.
Yes.
As if that's not enough. Oh, by the way, you have a personal life.
Well, I don't think I've ever been asked about my personal life.
Well, I mean, some people would say, well, how the heck does he have time for a relationship with, or you're in love with food? With all due respect to your fiance.
Yes.
You are going to get married soon.
Well, Jessica and I have been together for 12 years maybe. Mm-hmm. And she's an angel because she tolerates my schedule, my life.
Right.
And we just went to the Hispanic Chamber Gala a few days ago.
Yeah.
And she goes well, you're really popular always. And she just poking it. She knows that's kind of the routine. But anyway, she's a very successful businesswoman, was an executive for Mars Candy.
Yes.
And so she travels a lot, has a very, also her own personal life and goals. But, we've been trying to get married for a while. I made a beautiful ring. I didn't, hold on, let me back. Alejandro Cifuentes, the metalsmith from La Villita.
Of course.
Made her ring. Okay. We melted a gold centenario.
Really?
And we forged it. We hammered it to make her ring. And then I bought a special diamond.
Okay.
So I gave her that ring a while back. And we've been trying, again, life has been difficult. Hers, mine, career. Okay. And this year, we've had several attempts, but this is the final attempt. This is it. I told her, babe, I've always wanted to drive across the country in an RV.
Okay.
So we're gonna jump in an RV in August, and she's gonna throw her dress. I'm gonna throw my suit in there, and we're gonna find a place to get married.
So you don't know right now. You don't know where that's gonna be.
Not yet. Not yet. So that's the plan. Because we've actually tried to, there's be another interview.
Yeah, no, a third show. We'll do a third show. But this is it. You said that August?
August. It's happening.
Wedding or bust.
It's happening.
Somewhere in the contiguous United States.
I'm looking for something with a mountain in the background, a bunch of green trees, or maybe a stream. I'll fish and maybe catch our dinner.
Of course you will. And prepare it. Normally that wouldn't sound very romantic or whatever, but you would turn it into like a...
Oh, man, I can see it already.
5-star...
We'll have some candles.
Fancy dinner.
Can take some photos, But yeah, I'm excited. We've been, she's... just a beautiful person.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, you deserve that. I mean, listen. I mean, you've poured yourself into your career, and so many people, myself included, have enjoyed your food over the years. Whatever that looks like, in various different places. So it's nice that you'll take at least, I don't know, a few weeks for yourself and do something for yourself.
Well,
even though you'll probably do the cooking still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's hard to separate that, but it's been a crazy journey, the career and personal and community, and we got some important years ahead of us of just great work, and it's exciting. We're going to continue to forge forward, and we want to make an impact. I get so much satisfaction of entering into spaces where local restaurants and brands have never really been a part of that, whether it's the airport or the Frost Center, the Scottish Rite now with the Symphony, and either these universities that are asking for us to participate on these campuses. Yeah. Those are, I love to make that type of impact in spaces where, where we've not always participated as locals and small businesses. Usually those areas are controlled by large national companies. So that brings a lot of satisfaction to me, and then the historical piece of La Vita. Those are special projects.
Oh, indeed, and that's a sacred place to so many people. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Chef Johnny Hernandez. Again, we would need to do 2 or 3 more episodes to get to everything, and we maybe will here in the coming months and after you get married and everything. So thrilled for you, personally, professionally, and everything. And maybe next time we'll bring a Blackstone or something, and you can cook
it up. Yes, I need to. They'll be the first. We want to be the first to do a demo in.
That's right. Amen to that.
Yes.
Chef Johnny Hernandez, thank you. ChefJohnnyHernandez.com is the website to find out more about the Chef Johnny empire, if you will. All my best to your better half, and safe travels this summer for your big wedding. I can't wait to see the pictures and everything.
Oh, love it.
There you have it.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, there's another episode of Pickup Lines. You never know who will be here sitting in the car with me, but we always enjoy the storytelling and just the sharing of life experiences. So until next time, I'm Ernie Zuniga. We'll see you.